Hello, YouTubers, ahoy, sailors, and hello, fellow patriots. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to take my Springfield XDM 45 4.5 barrel. As you can see, the chamber is empty, no magazine in it, and take the magazines and bring them down to 10-round magazines because here in the state of California, you can't have 13 round magazines. That's considered a high capacity magazine, and that is a felony. So let's avoid that. However, if you have in your possession a weapon that has no more than 10 round magazine, that's just a misdemeanor. So since I'm in Alameda Island, Alameda County, and it's virtually impossible to get a concealed weapons permit, and it's illegal to open carry in California, this is what I have to do. So what I did is I went online and I bought these mag block magazine restrictors. Mag Block LLC, it's a California company. And basically what you do is you just put these into your magazine, and then you seal it up with some epoxy, and that'll make it so you can't load more than 10 rounds in the magazine. Now, first I'm going to go over what it kind of looks like with a normal style. Okay, so here's your basic components of the Springfield XDM 45 caliber handgun magazine. I got one of these cool tech mat things, and it has a nice exploded view of the weapon and all the different components and their names, so you can sound really smart on your YouTube video when you say it. So we got the magazine spring, the magazine base, the follower, the spring base, and the magazine base thing, I think. If not, those are the things right there. Anyway, so let's go over how it's assembled real quick. All right, let's try this again. So you have your basic magazine components, and I accidentally flipped this around and did this backwards, and it doesn't actually work. You can still load about 7 rounds, but it'll be very difficult to take off. And since we're planning to epoxy the base to the end of the magazine so it can't be easily disassembled, we're going to want to make sure to get it right the first time. So a good way to do that is just make sure that everything is going in the same direction. So you can see here, this is going to be the way that it goes. Oh, see, I've already made a mistake. So the way you check that is you check the spring and make sure the spring is in line. Spring is in line with the base of the magazine. So let's try that again. Okay, looking good. And then make sure this end goes in there correctly. Okay, and this is going to be the tricky part when I do the epoxy. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that, but get that in there, cram it in, see it lock, and then with this one, 13 round capacity. I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. Yep, that's the 13 round magazine. So got 13 rounds right over here. So we're going to now proceed to load those. Just demonstrate that it can take 13 rounds. Let's see what that looks like. Boom, 13 round magazine. You could see down here that you can see there's 13 rounds, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, oh, almost lost some rounds. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this out, and I'm going to demonstrate how the limiter works. Just push this little button, slide this forward, out comes all the components. And then here, where this part is, that's where this guy goes in. Okay, so this is the limiter here. So that goes in like this. Can't go in like this, obviously, so it can only go in one way, which is good for idiots like me. And put this on. Once again, making sure that these are lined up. Okay, same as before. Put the base on, and it goes. Hear that nice little click. So now, 1, 2. Holy shit! Hold on a second. So make sure that you got your base of this thing on. If it's only in half of one of the grooves like that, then the spring will shoot out and everything. So let's try that again without the dramatic bottom blowing out of this thing. Oh jeez. Okay, so this is why you do dry runs, these sorts of things, before you start putting on the epoxy. Otherwise you get epoxy shot all over your nice laptop and all that junk. Okay, so 9, 10. Okay, so you can see the 9 and the 10 here. Now, we try to put in number 11. No way, Jose. Not going in. Not a chance. So, now this is legally, well, this is not legally in this case, a limiting magazine, because I can very easily, oh, hold on, let me take out the bullets first so this spring isn't under as much tension. I can very easily, whoa, thanks. I can very easily disassemble the bottom end of this thing, right? So I just push the button, out it comes, boom, take the restrictor off, put this thing back in, base the magazine, make sure it's in there, and then boom, I can start loading into 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use epoxy to epoxy the magazine restrictor to the follower, and then also the base unit of the magazine going on here, so that in any court of law they can't say that it's readily able to take it apart, because they're going to have to break the thing in order to get it off. So I won't be able to access, you know, my magazine to clean any of it and stuff. But I've had this for, you know, I've had these 3 magazines for my gun since I got it about 5 years ago, and it's not even really dirty in there. I've never had any problems with them. They're really well manufactured, so I'm not too worried about it. Alright. Fortunately, I don't have an assistant today to help me record. So anyway, what I'm going to do is go ahead and mix the epoxy. Try to get equal amounts of the epoxy and hardener. And I got some junk mail to protect my table. Unfortunately, I don't have a shop right now. As you can see, it's already oozing all over the place. Great. So I got some junk mail underneath that. And gave me a little baby popsicle stick, so I'm going to stir this nice and good. And this stuff is supposed to be really fast hardening, so I'm going to do all 3 really quick. And what I've already done is I've already scored the surfaces just with the end of my knife there. And okay, yeah, this is getting a nice little booger consistency, which means that it's hardening up real quick. And you know, it's probably 70 degrees in here, so this stuff's going to kick off real good. So I'm going to try to do all 3 in one foul swoop. Okay, so I got them mixed together. I just got some cheap brushes here. So once again, I'm going to make sure and double check that I got everything in the right direction. It should be all very slick and smooth, and it should fit together nicely. Okay, there we go. As you can see, I scored the inside, scored there. And I'm just going to use a little bit. I'm not going to use too much because I know this stuff has a tendency to expand. So I'm going to just use a small coating. And then I figure the best way to apply pressure, you know, usually when you do epoxy or something, you use a vise or something of that nature to apply pressure to it. And since I have a spring and it's a magazine, I'm just going to load the magazine. And hopefully that'll do it. Okay, as you can see, I got those together. Just a little bit, you know, not too much. You know, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. I'm worried about it gooing out all over the place and then interfering with the operation of the magazine. So, knock on wood, hopefully that doesn't happen. Now this part I haven't really figured out, so we're going to figure it out on the fly here. So I got to get this in, and then this is under pressure right now. And I got to somehow apply epoxy to this as it slides on. So I guess what I'm going to do is apply it here, slide it halfway on, and then apply it to the other part. It shouldn't really matter if it all hardens down here, since this guy's never coming off again. So hopefully I don't screw up, because these magazines cost about $35 each, and that would suck. Okay, so I'm halfway on. Got the little nipple down, and it's still holding on somewhat. I'm going to get the rest of this goo in here. You know, and the magazine, it's all based on spacing, so hopefully it doesn't expand too much and you know, make it so it'll only take 9 rounds instead of 10. I mean, it's not much of a difference, but you know, who knows, maybe that's the round that saves your life. Okay, as you can see, a little bit's gooping out there. I didn't bring any rags. It's okay, Tuck. It's okay. Dog wants to know why I'm running. It's freaking out. Okay, so a little bit gooing out there. Got it. Looks like it's pretty clear along the sides of the magazine. Who knows what it'll do later. Okay, and then I guess we might as well just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Make sure the thing works. No 11. Boom. First one done. Pretty quick. Want to make sure that the part isn't oozing out the bottom here, so it'll fit nicely into the base of the frame. Make sure nothing's going on along the edges. And we can't do anything about the stuff internally, so just hope and pray for that, I guess. And then I'll just keep an eye on this as it's doing its thing, so that it doesn't expand out of the base here. It looks like it's trying to a little bit. Maybe I used a little bit too much, but whatever. I can just get it as it comes out. Okay, that's one. Yeah, I don't think I showed you, but yeah, I just scored it with a knife here. You know, it was a very smooth surface before, so I just kind of did this sort of thing. You know, the epoxy is going to have a chemical reaction with the plastics anyway. It's going to form a sort of weld or not. So hopefully that'll be good enough. I'm guessing this is going to not want to come off. We'll see. I'm obviously going to try it, you know, because in court, you know, they might try to break it open or, you know, do something with tools or whatever to try to get the thing to attach. So we want to make sure that that thing is on there like a son of a gun. Yeah, and so, you know, I haven't started the application process yet for my CCW down here, because when I initially called the sheriff's office down in Alameda here, which is in charge of not only Alameda Island but Oakland, where I was living when I first moved to California, you know, I asked them what it would take, and they said that I had to have a for-cause justification, meaning that I had to be carrying large sums of money, you know, or large amounts of gold, or be operating a business out of my house. And so I said, well, what if I was carrying, you know, 80% of my net worth, all the money I owned on my person? And they said, well, yeah, that would work. I said, oh, okay, so if I carry $40, that'll do it? They said, no, it has to be over $10,000. I said, oh, so I have to be rich in order for the laws to apply to me. And she didn't have a good response for that, which I thought was pretty funny, just to razz him. But yeah, she was very adamant about not having it be like, just telling me that I shouldn't even bother applying. And I've checked out some YouTube videos, and seen what other guys have to say. And the one guy took, almost a year and a half just to get his, his CCW, and that was before the San Bernardino shooting, which was very tragic, very horrible, messed up thing. Go shoot up a Christmas party for a bunch of mentally impaired people, and these nice people at a Christmas party. Why would you do that? I don't know. Anyway, that's why I carry, just in case something like that happens. Yep, restricted at 10. Good. Just double checking before I apply this stuff that everything is as it should be. Yeah, and a lot of people say, well, it's okay. You don't need to carry and stuff because, we have police for that. I live in Alameda. It's a very calm island, very benign. There's only 4 ways on and off the island. There's almost no crime. There's always 6 cops on duty, and there's 4 ways on and off the island. So you'd think they'd just be able to, block off the exits and then use the other 2 to find them. Wrong. There's an armed robber just about 5 blocks down the road in the South Shore shopping center that hit up 5 businesses, which, even if he did it really fast, that still had to take at least 10-20 minutes. And they didn't even do a high-speed chase or anything because they didn't want to endanger the public. So, obviously, you can't count on the police to do their job and stop armed robberies. It's a small island. There should have already been someone in the area. And so, that's why I carry. So that, my family is protected. And the community, too. And myself. I'm not going to wait around for a cop to show up to the scene, if they even show up at all. But, Alameda County, well, here in California, you can't open carry. That's against the law. And it takes a year and a half to get a concealed weapons permit. And so, you have to decide if you just want to wait or if you want to do something about it. And I don't take that victim's mentality myself. I know a lot of my friends agree with me there, and a lot of them don't. But, I'm, for my job, shipping out in the Merchant Marine, I've shipped on MSC ships defending the United States Navy's assets and moving cargo and weapons handling. And I'm trained in force protection takedown. What that means is, batons, grappling sort of stuff, in order to, stop someone trying to get onto a ship, gangway watch, or, anti-piracy stuff, which is a real thing. People think pirates like Johnny Depp, yo-ho-ho, but, there is pirates out there, and if you're over by Vietnam, or, of course, Somalia, that's a real thing. And if you lose your engines, they will come after you. Fortunately, we were, valuable assets to the United States Navy, so they kept a better eye on us than our merchant brothers. But, Navy does their job. They protect our assets. But we also have to look out for our own ship. And I kind of have that mentality where, I'm going to look out after myself and, be able to do what I think is necessary to defend my home, defend my family. And, I should be able to do that when I'm out in public. I got a dog, got to walk the dog. I got to go to the store to get groceries. I mean, the way these laws are set up, they have it set up so that if you're really wealthy, well, then you could stay in your bunker, in your mansion, and you'll be fine. But, because you can have food delivered and, still be protected. But, I don't know. I mean, no man's an island, right? I mean, we all have to go out and get stuff out in society, and why not just live in a bunker in the mountains on private property where no one's going to search you anyway, because they can't, because it's private property. If you're going to do that. Anyway, this is me just spieling on my thoughts on the gun legislation and the magazine restrictions, and then, you know, now I guess they got, you know, buying ammo restrictions, and it's, I think it's just baloney. I think we already got a good system now where, oh, yep, must be at 10. Okay, that's 2, almost done. I guess my political spiels will be over when this, when all this assembly is over. Let's check on this other magazine, see if it's squirting out more. Nope. Maybe just a little bit there. We'll get that with a rag. Yep. Okay. Yeah, looking good. Nice and solid. Ooh, that's nice. They used to make kind of a rattling noise. It sounded kind of cheap and stuff before, but I think the epoxy is going to help that rattling stop now. Yep, doesn't rattle around now. Cool. I fixed a problem that was my only annoyance and complaint with this handgun, so that's awesome. Alright, one more. Where's my spring? There it is. So yeah, guys, I don't know, go ahead and comment down below what you guys think about all this. You know, I think it's kind of ironic that, you know, I used to live in King County in Washington, in Seattle proper, very urban environments. And there in Washington State, it is legal for you to open carry. I also had a CCW, which I got over at the King County's Police Department, over there by the courthouse downtown. And the whole process of getting that took about maybe an hour and a half. I had to wait for a little bit because there was a little bit of a line, and their electronic fingerprint machine was down, so they had to do it the old-fashioned way with just the thumbprint. They were very apologetic. They said, sorry, usually it doesn't take that long. I think it costs $125 to get it. Right there and then in the office, they gave me a temporary, and then in the mail I got the more permanent one. And I went ahead and laminated that, put it in my wallet, and that lasted for 5 years. So that was cool. It can only go one way. Nice. Okay, double check we're the same way. Good. Awesome. And, you know, I open carried half the time. I concealed carried half the time. And I was only ever... Someone only commented on it exactly one time, and that was at a 76 gas station, and I was buying some gas, and the guy said, oh man, you know, that's a pretty big piece. Usually people don't carry that big of pieces. I said, yep. He said, yeah, usually most people conceal carry. I know I do. I said, yep, I bet you do. And that was it. That was, oh, gotta get my fingers sticky. Uh-oh, messed up. And that was the only time, you know, and I used to open carry all the time, and no one ever said anything about it, and it was a non-deal. And it was also a very crime-free spot, and so my thoughts on that are, like, you know, is it maybe because the criminals know, you know, that people are carrying, they don't act as much? Maybe not, I don't know. But then down here, in one of the most dangerous places in the world, Oakland, very scary place, very violent, lots of violent crimes happening, very corrupt police department. I've gone through, you know, 6, 7 bosses in the last 2 months. You know, I don't know about you, but when the boss or president of a company moves out, there's a lot of room for corruption and, you know, people stealing office supplies. Well, what about when that's a police department? You know, and it's all like child sex trafficking stuff. Come on. Anyway, in this place, you can't open carry, so you can't wear it on the side. And you basically can't get a concealed weapons permit. So what's that leave you with? Well, you know, you have to carry it on your person in a locked container, unloaded. And then by the time someone's mugging you, You have to unlock it, pull it out, load it, and then defend yourself. Huh. Oh, and you have to have it registered with California. I don't like that idea of being on a list where someone knows exactly what armaments I have in my house, you know, and it's going to be on a computer somewhere, and so people are going to be able to know exactly what I'm armed with at my house, and then they can use the force appropriate or not to target, you know, civilians. I don't know. That sounds bogus to me. Sounds like an invasion of privacy. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for listening and watching about my political spiel and how to become just a misdemeanor felon for, you know, keeping your peace on you to protect your family instead of felony felon or criminal, civilian, whatever you want to call it. Okay, everybody. Aloha.